The Positive Theory of Capital by Eugen von Bohm-Bawerk. Book 4. Price. Chapter 3. One-sided competition. First, of one-sided competition of buyers. Accommodating the conditions of our illustration to the requirements of the new typical case, let us assume that A1 finds a competitor, who we shall call A2, already in the field, and that he has also the intention of purchasing the horse. The circumstances of this competitor are such that he counts the possession of the horse worth as much as 20. What will happen now? Each of the competitors wishes to buy the horse, but only one, of course, can buy him. Each of them wishes to be that one. Each therefore will try to persuade B to sell the horse to him, and the means of persuasion will be to bid a higher price. Thus ensues the familiar phenomenon of mutual overbidding. How long will this last? It will last till the rising bids have reached the valuation of the least capable competitor, who, in this case, is A2. So long as the bids are under 20, A2, acting on the motto rather a small gain than no exchange, will try to secure the purchase by raising his offer, which attempt naturally A1, acting on the same principle, will counteract by raising his offer. But A2 cannot go beyond the limit of 20 without losing by the exchange. At this point his advantage dictates better no exchange than a loss, and he leaves the field to his competitor. This is not to say that the price A1 pays must be just 20. It is possible that B, knowing A1 to be in urgent want of a horse, will not be content with 20, and will try by holding back and by skilful bargaining to extort a price of 25, 28, or even 29/19. The one thing certain is that the price cannot exceed 30, the valuation of A1, who concludes the purchase, and cannot be under 20, the valuation of A2, the excluded competitor. Now assume that, in addition to A1 and A2, three other buyers, A3, A4, and A5, compete for the horse, and that their circumstances are such that they count the possession of the horse equivalent to 22, 25, and 28, respectively. It is easy to show, in the same way, that in the ensuing competition A3 will bid to the limit of 22, A4 to 25, and A5 to 28, that the most capable competitor, A1, will always be the successful one, and that the price will be fixed between 30 as a higher limit and 28, the valuation of the most capable of the excluded competitors as lower limit. The results of this investigation may therefore be expressed in the following general proposition. The one-sided competition of buyers, where there is one seller and more than one buyer, the most capable competitor will be the purchaser, that is, the one who puts the highest value on the commodity he wishes to buy in comparison with the good he wishes to sell, and the price will lie somewhere between the valuation of the purchaser as higher limit and the valuation of the most capable among the unsuccessful competitors as lower limit, always understood that the price can, in no case, be lower than the subsidiary lower limit of the seller's own valuation. Comparing this proposition with the results arrived at under the former typical case, we see that the competition of buyers has the effect of narrowing the sphere within which price is determined, and narrowing it in the upward direction. Between A and B, the limits within which price was determined were 10 and 30. By the added competition the lower limit was moved up to 28. Second, of the one-sided competition of sellers, this forms the exact converse of the foregoing. Entirely analogous tendencies lead to entirely analogous results, only in an opposite direction. The statement of this need not detain us long. Suppose that our friend A is the only buyer, and that he deals with 5 dealers, whom we shall call B1, B2, B3, B4, and B5, are competing to sell him a horse. We assume that all horses are equally good, but B1 values his horse at 10, B2 values his at 12, B3 at 15, B4 at 20, and B5 at 25. Each of the 5 rivals tries to utilize the present as the sole opportunity of sale, and endeavors to secure a preference over his competitors by underselling, as in the former case by overbidding. But as no one will care to offer his commodity for less than what he is worth to himself, B5 will cease offering at 25, B4 at 20, B3 at 15, then B1 and B2 will compete for a while, till finally at 12, B2 finds himself economically excluded, and B1 alone keeps the field. The price at which he remains the seller must necessarily be higher than 10, otherwise there would be no use in the exchange and therefore no motive for it. But neither must it be higher than 12, otherwise B2 will continue his competition. In general terms, then, we have the following proposition. In one-sided competition of sellers, where there is one buyer and more than one seller, the more capable competitor will be the actual seller, that is the one who puts the lowest value on the good he wishes to sell in comparison with the commodity he wishes to buy, and the price will lie somewhere between the valuation of the seller as lower limit and the valuation of the most capable among the unsuccessful competitors as higher limit. Compared, therefore, with the case of isolated exchange where according to the first formula, the price had to lie between 10 and 30, the sphere within which price is determined will be narrowed by the competitions of sellers and narrowed in the downward direction.